Welcome to the Thunder Hour Podcast, hosted by Treh Hamilton and produced by Leif, Dietrich.
Welcome back to Thunder Hour Podcast. This is now, and Leaf's running out of fingers, episode 10. We are 10 episodes deep into this journey. It's been a fun journey so far. We're about to hit the halfway mark of the 2023-24 Western Ontario Super Hockey League season. We are really excited for that. Thunder have played 11 games. This upcoming game that we'll be talking about later on in the show will be the 12th game of the regular season. We play 24 games in this league, so halfway point. Thunder right now sitting in first place in the standings, as well as sitting first place in the power rankings, but we'll touch on a lot of that later on. Once again, ladies and gents, welcome back to Thunder Hour. It's an honor to be here with you. Treh Hamilton joined alongside a partner in crime, Mr. Leif Dietrich. Leif, how are you doing on this beautiful Friday morning?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, honestly. Working about 4 hours, so get this podcast done and shot and edited, and we're good to go.
Yeah, well, it's called Thunder Hour, but sometimes we talk for a while,
Yeah.
It might be Thunder 3 Hour, but now today we don't have a special guest this episode. We do have, fortunately, thanks to our top-notch recording that we do in Tillsonburg of the games, we do have highlights unlike last week in Delhi, so Thunder, our last contest was last Saturday at home. Very special night. It was Teddy Bear Toss night, as Leaf talked about on last week's podcast. Thunder played host to the Strathroy Jets. Jets came into the game with a 7-5 record. Thunder entered the contest with an 8-2 record. So Strathroy was sitting third in the standings. Tillsonburg sitting at first. And it was a big game for both teams, like we talked about last week. Say Strathroy was able to pull this one out in regulation. Thunder fall to 8-3, and then Strathroy would climb to 8-5. So it would open things up. It would create that little jumble at the top with Stratford, Strathroy, Tillsonburg. Those three seem to be the teams running away with it, so to speak. Strathroy is kind of sitting at 500, but they've played a lot of games. They don't have as big of a backloaded schedule as teams like Stratford and Tillsonburg do, but Strathroy's already reached their midway point of the season. But yeah. It was a great game all around. It was Teddy Bear Toss night. Fans did a great job. We really enjoyed it as broadcasters, fans. It was a close game, raucous environment. Leaf. I from where I was sitting, it wasn't the biggest crowd that we've seen all year, but they were really into it, they were.
Yeah. Wasn't obviously, like you mentioned, it wasn't the biggest crowd. Like, say when we had, what was it? Student night, yeah.
Who did we play that night?
Delhi.
Yeah, it was
the first time.
Yeah, that was the Brzezinski fight. That first, the first Delhi game.
Oh, that was when I was
cameraman.
Cameraman.
Yeah, cameraman.
Sideways.
Bro had the shot like this, but
hey, I got the OT winner. And
you got the
pretty
scrap.
Good.
You got the scrap. This is
I got the scrap.
So it looks like when Leaf's filming, so I just had to give the little joke there to my boy.
Hey, new Fortnite season dropped. I've been live streaming on my personal YouTube channel. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Go check out Leaf's personal YouTube channel.
No, we don't need
Thunder Players. I will send you a link to Leaf's personal YouTube channel, and we can watch the live streams together.
I actually talk in those, by the way, though.
Yeah, he's a lot more talkative when he's talking about Fortnite than...
We're rocking.
Why don't you start streaming NHL 24?
Because my PlayStation's broken right now because of my HDMI. But, potentially, when I get my PlayStation 5 fixed, I will be live streaming NHL 24 Hut Champions, probably. Last time I played, I was rank 4,000. I won 12-2 my last Hut Champ. So I'm a decent player. So if you want to see some not high quality NHL, but some quality gameplay of NHL, then I'm your guy.
Check it out. There you go. Leaf's plugging the YouTube channel. I like it. Yeah, let's get onto the game. Tilsonburg played Strathroy. Came out on top 4-3 in double overtime. So why don't we just jump right into the highlight package. Ladies and gents, these are Tilsonburg Thunder highlights brought to you by Domino's Pizza.
Yes, Domino's Pizza.
Enjoy.
Good defensive play to keep that one off. It was labeled for the corner.
Wyatt check from the point. Tipped on goal. Loose rebound. Goal! Spencer Hutchinson! Here come the Teddy Bears! They rain down on the ice. Spencer Hutchinson. Thunder lead. 1-0. Get those Bears flying, Tilsonburg.
Well, should continue to do so.
Here comes Thompson. He springs himself. Sheldon Thompson on the breakaway. In. Shoots. Score! Sheldon Thompson! Thunder lead 2-0. What a play by Tomer to spring himself. And 2-0 at the 9:26 mark. Thunder strike. Turnover here. Look out. Here come the Jets. Ferreira across in the middle. Shot score.
Yep.
That was Cameron Amos, excuse me. Jets answer right back. Bad turnover by the Thunder in their own end. And Cameron Amos, a guy we said look out for, he makes the Thunder pay on a nice give and go with Carl Stapleton.
Big Eldart.
I did notice that, no call though. McGuffin in the slot, shot, save, rebound, score! Jamie McQueen bats it out of midair. Thunder lead 3-1. Just like that. 2-goal lead restored here in Tilsonburg. Look out here. Here they come. Shot on Segra. Gloved away. In the middle they score. And that was the two circles we have on our roster. Kobe Ferreira made a nice play. And Cameron Amos banged it in. Yeah. And again, JD, this is where the 5-forward power play. Here's a breakaway. In alone on Sagrat. They score. Cameron Amos ties the game. Thunder got caught pitching. Strathroy strikes right away. And JD, we're back to a 0-0 score, even up. 3-3 at the 1932 mark. And again, puck drop, Jets win it. Lost in some feet. And Kobe Ferreira spins. Plays it to the defenseman on the ice, the lone defenseman on the ice, Thomas Monroe. Monroe cuts in, works around. McQueen picking him up nicely. Monroe across. Ferreira poked off his stick. Rebery. Mike Rebery. McQueen flying. Rebery for McQueen. Shot off the outside of the net. McQueen still has it.
Yes.
McQueen keeps it in the offensive zone. Spins around. McQueen. Shot! Jamie McQueen! Ends it in overtime! The Thunder win in overtime! 4-3 the final score. What a game!
What a game. It all comes down to...
Those were Tilsonburg Thunder highlights brought to you by Domino's Pizza here on Thunder Hour. Thunder come out on top 4-3 double overtime. A thriller, a crazy game from start to finish. I was so engaged with that game because it was the Thunder would get the lead and then Strathroy would pull back and get back into it, and it was just back and forth action. It was really well officiated. It wasn't egregious in any means. Power plays were pretty even. I believe Strathroy had a shorthanded goal as well, so it was really an all-around great game. You got to see good special teams. You got to see good power plays. You got to see good penalty kill. Really good goaltending, and we'll talk about that as well. I didn't get those numbers up here, but I'll jump over and look at those in a sec because Evan DeBrouwer, we talked about it. He was a player to watch. All three of Strathroy's players to watch that we named in the pregame show last week, they were players to watch. Kobe Ferreira, he set up a beautiful goal. Cameron Amos was on that list. He had a hat trick. And then Evan DeBrouwer, I believe the Thunder had 49 shots on him, and he only gave up 4 goals, which is incredible. I mean, you see why he has an over 900 save percentage.
Oh, yeah.
He's former NCAA Division I goaltender of the year when he played for Arizona State, the Sun Devils. he's obviously a heck of a goalie. We got to see it, just so calm, so composed. And obviously in the highlight package it doesn't really do him any justice because we're just showing you the 4 goals he gave up. But we were neglecting the 46 saves or 45 saves that he made in the game, which is just, it's crazy to even think about that he made 45 saves and they still lost 4-3 in overtime. But we'll get into we'll jump into the scoring summary. Then we'll vote. We'll give you guys our 3 stars of the game after that. First period, 14:23 mark. Tilsonburg opened the scoring less than just over 5 minutes into the game. Spencer Hutchison got the Teddy Bears flying, his 9th of the season, assisted from Wyachek and Fitzmaurice. Mitch Fitzmaurice picks up yet another assist. Spencer Hutchison extends his team lead in goals to 9, although another guy named McQueen would catch up to him later on in the contest. That's another story. But yeah, Hutchison opens it up. It was a loose puck in front. Fitzmaurice off the draw, passed it back to the point. Wyachek teed it up. DeBrouwer made the first save, and then it was loose in the slot. And Hutchison just batted it in, backhander over the glove hand. That was one of the only ways we discovered in that game to beat DeBrouwer were those, either a breakaway or like a slot shot or those crazy mad scrambles in front. That's the only 2. That was the 2 variations of goals that they scored. But yeah, Hutchison from Wyachek and Fitzmaurice. And the Teddy Bears began to fly, and they wouldn't stop. It was really cool to see. I'm just going to zoom up here in the chat and take a look at how many Teddy Bears. Mike Hawley had
I want to say 300.
It was 311 Teddy Bears. Well done, Tilsonburg. That is beautiful to see. Like, you see some OHL Teddy Bear tosses with, 2,000 in Sarnia and stuff like that.
Yep.
And here we are, small little arena like that. Probably 400 people in attendance, 300. And we had 311 Teddy Bears that were counted up. And, excuse me, there were some fans that were still in line because the goal was scored so early in the game. We had fans that were stuck in line that had Teddy Bears, so some of them couldn't even throw them onto the ice. But all bears were collected for donation. 311 was the grand total. Well done, Tilsonburg, and thank you to Spencer Hutchison for potting your 9th of the season and getting the Teddy Bears flying onto the ice. And again, Wyachek, Fitzmaurice pick up the assists. 9:26, just a few minutes later, Sheldon Thompson picks up his 6th of the year, an unassisted goal. Strathroy wins the face-off at the Tilsonburg end. They go D to D, and Thompson just had that beautiful pressure play, poked it off the stick of the defenseman, came flying in on the breakaway, and went blocker side on DeBrouwer. No chance for him. Thompson's got a great shot, and he didn't miss. That's the thing. When you're on a breakaway, most of the time as a goaltender, it's the toughest thing to stop. And Thompson did not miss. It was an unassisted goal, his 6th of the season. And then, unfortunately, less than 30 seconds later, because the Thunder love to break our hearts, Strathroy would get on the board. Cameron Amos picked up his 4th of the season, assisted from Carl Stapleton. And this one was tough. It was a bad turnover. Tilsonburg was in their own end. They were in the far right corner. Defenseman tried to make a pass out of the zone. It was picked off by Amos. And Stapleton came in. Amos passed it to Stapleton. Back to Amos. And he buried it, his 4th of the year. So we got a 2-1 game after 1 period of play. Jump to the second. 13:57 into the period. To go in the period. At the 13:57 mark, I should say. Jamie McQueen picks up his 7th of the season. Assists from McGuffin and Andrew Whalen. It was another weird play. Strathroy had the puck. They were going to clear the zone. It was a bad pass. Went past the defenseman. And Whalen flew in on the left wing. Batted the puck around the half wall. Got to McGuffin. McGuffin to McQueen. McQueen shot it at the net. It was stopped by DeBrouwer. And then McQueen just batted the rebound out of mid-air. And you guys sit in that corner. You got a good look, Leif. That was a beautiful goal, huh?
It really was. I don't remember much of it. I just remember it looking nice.
Yeah, he batted out of midair. I mean, that's a skill play.
Yeah.
We've seen McQueen have those midair, like the one goal earlier on in this season. Can't remember if it was against Dunnville or Orangeville. It was one of those two. And it was a puck high up in the air in the neutral zone. And he just catches it midair, sets it down, settles it. Well moving, by the way. He's not standing still. Yeah. He's moving. Like, that's kind of stuff. Yeah, I can do that in practice. In beer league, I can chip it off the glass, stand still, try to catch it and set it down. This guy's doing it while he's moving.
Yeah.
Impressive play. And then he came in and set up a beauty of a pass on that play. But yeah, McQueen bats home his 7th of the year for McGuffin and Whalen. And then 2:04 to go in the period. Cameron Amos gets his 5th of the year, his 2nd of the game, assisted from Kobe Ferrero. It was a shorthanded goal. And it was an interesting talking point for me and JD during the game, as well as me and Leif will talk about a little bit later on. The Thunder were running a 5-man, 5 offensive unit power play.
Yeah, never again, please.
Yeah, it was tough because 5 forwards, you need at least 1 defenseman. You have guys like Knotts and Van Boekel that are offensively skilled defensemen. And I get it, when you're on the power play, you want to score. That's the point. But unfortunately, Fitzmaurice took a tumble in the corner. He got hit pretty hard. And then he was limping off the ice, so the Thunder had to come in a back check. It was even at that point 4-on-4 because Fitzmaurice was taking his time getting over the bench because he was hurt. And, nobody really picked up the proper coverage. I think it was just miscommunication. And Ferreira, kind of got a half break, took a shot. It bounced off the cheater on the glove of Sagarot. And he, speaking of Ferreira, just regained it, passed it in front, and nobody picked up Amos. He was wide open. No chance for Sags on any of the 3 goals Strathroy scored. It was his 5th of the year, and it was shorthanded assisted from Ferreira. So Thunder power play, not seeing a lot of PPG, and we're seeing some SHG against. They got some work to do, obviously. Power play was an issue last year in the playoffs. We want to make sure that we clean up that power play before we get into the postseason this year. So use this second half of the year, boys, to try to pick up on the power play. It's Bill Ryan. I'm just getting in contact with him. He said, "Who is this?" That was pretty funny. Sorry about that, Bill. I guess I'm not in the contacts list of his other phone. You know, Bill's a busy guy, so.
It's Treh.
So we jump to the 3rd period. 30 seconds into the period, Strathroy would tie the game at 3. Cameron Amos, who else, gets his 6th of the year. The assist from Alkins and Evan DeBrouwer. So DeBrouwer picks up a point as well. It was a breakout play, and a guy got sprung. It was Amos. Alkins found him. It was right on the tape. It was a breakaway.
Nice move.
It was a beautiful move. Sags went down. He just did a little backhand, forehand, and as a goalie, it's tough. You know, you commit to the backhand move, and all of a sudden he's going forehand. That was his 6th of the year, a hat-trick goal. It tied up the game. Again, Alkins and DeBrouwer on the assist. So 30 seconds into the 3rd, we're even 3-3. Brand new game. It's tied. It's back to 0-0, level score. And the rest of the 3rd period, Leaf, I got the feeling the teams kind of played a little bit hesitant, like they don't want to give up the next goal instead of I want to score the next goal.
Yeah.
And that's just not a recipe of successful hockey.
Yeah, I didn't like it per se because I don't think you get the overtime point if you make it to overtime.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I still think it's the point.
But there was over 19 minutes left.
Especially when you're so close to the standings, you gotta get those 2 points off them, and you can't let them get that extra point.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Both teams. For Tillsonburg, you want to win that in regulation because you want to keep Strathroy away from A, getting that 1 point, or B, winning the game, obviously, and gaining 2 points and coming within, 1 win of taking you over in the standings. Yeah. For Strathroy, you want to go out there and push the play because you want to go and get 2 points at Tillsonburg, right? And I guess for Strathroy, they got 1 point out of it, but both teams just played very hesitant in the 3rd period. I didn't like it. But it was back and forth. It's not like the goal, look at the Thunder had almost 50 shots and Strathroy had over 30. It wasn't like they weren't trying to win, but you could just feel it from a broadcaster perspective, from a fan perspective. You could feel Strathroy was just playing hesitant. They weren't pushing the pace of play, and Tillsonburg was kind of sitting back as well. So buzzer rang, and we went to overtime. So for those fans who don't know, in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League, overtime works as such. 3 minutes on the clock. 3-on-3. Interesting. It's only 3 minutes, but 3-on-3, typically a lot of hockey leagues, 3-on-3, we see it in the NHL. Ever since they switched overtime to 3-on-3, granted theirs is 5 minutes, but 3-on-3, games end in overtime a lot more than they do in the shootout. So, unless you're the Leafs. This year specifically. But 3-on-3 for 3 minutes. And then that buzzer rings. You go 2-on-2 for 2 minutes. if nothing is solved in the 2 minutes 2-on-2, which normally the Washel's 2-on-2 is like the NHL's 3-on-3. Usually most games that go to overtime end in 2-on-2. One turnover, it's a 2-on-1 the other way. But if nothing is solved in the 2-on-2, the clock turns off. There's no time. We go 1-on-1 until a winner is decided, which I haven't seen that happen. It did happen in Elora this year.
Yeah, and then their camera kind of like fell.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
I
the
did.
camera kind of fell, so we couldn't even see what happened.
I know,
Yeah.
and there was a penalty in the 1-on-1, so it went to 2-on-1.
Yeah.
So obviously that's an unfair advantage for anybody. But yeah, 1-on-1 is the final deciding factor in overtime in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. It would be exciting to see. We haven't
I don't
seen
want
it,
to see it.
but yeah, I
I'm
mean,
good.
I liked the fact that we ended it at 2-on-2.
Me too.
So double overtime, a minute 23, so just over 40 seconds, just under 40 seconds, sorry, into the second overtime. Jamie McQueen ends it all. Who else? His 8th of the season, so he gets right up behind Hutchison, and Hutch is not going to be able to make the trip to Orangeville, so Queener, this is your chance to take over the team lead in goals. We'll have a chat about that later. But he gets his 8th of the year, assisted from Mike Rebry, the captain. It was the game-winning goal in double overtime, so 2-on-2, as we said. And it capped off a night that was just, outside of that third period where it's kind of sloppy and no team was wanting to go push the play, it ended a great night. Teddy bear toss, good crowd. People were fired up. We wanted to see a win. We got the win. Jamie McQueen wins it in overtime. I had to shout out RJ. For those fans who don't know, I'm also the play-by-play announcer for the Thunder. And when the Thunder win in overtime at home and I do the game, because of the late, great Rick Jenneret, I always do an RJ-type call when the Thunder win in overtime. RJ obviously was infamous for a few things. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. But RJ was infamous for big games, big moments when the Sabres win in overtime. And I'm by no means a Buffalo fan, but I just respected RJ. I like to mold my broadcasting ideologies around the way RJ calls a game. High energy, always trying to keep the fans on their feet if they're not able to be at the game. And every time Buffalo won in overtime, in the playoffs or late season, RJ was always, the Buffalo Sabres win in overtime. And so yeah, that's my personal tribute to him. So I'm sorry at home if you didn't know and you were just annoyed with me doing the overtime, but it's as I said, it's a tribute and a shout out to Rick Jenneret, and that's why I do it. RJ was one of my favorite broadcasters as a kid. I remember driving around in my dad's old Honda Accord when I was a little guy, and back before you could stream games, every game live on the internet. You'd be in your room or driving around, as I said, and you'd put on the Buffalo station and you'd be listening to the Sabres games because you didn't want to listen to the Leafs because who wants to listen to Joe Bowen? I mean, this guy's just zoning out about Joe Bowen. But yeah, many great memories listening to RJ growing up, and that's where the overtime call comes from. So just to do a little explanation, a little brief history lesson for you guys. But yeah, that takes care of that. Thunder win it in overtime, double overtime, final score 4-3. And we got our 3 stars of the game. Leif, you're not going to see them in the notes. I didn't write them down.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
I got the 3rd star of the game for the Strathroy Jets. Goaltender Evan DeBrouwer, 49 shots against, 4 goals against. He was the only reason the Jets got a point.
Yeah.
To be honest, he's the only reason why the Jets have 7 wins this year, in my opinion. So he's a heck of a goalie. He's top tier in this league. He's up there with the Palladores and Sagrots and those guys. He's a stud. And he got the 3rd star of the contest. I got the 2nd star of the game going to, number 21, Spencer Hutchison. Hutchison got the teddy bear toss goal. So that earns him the right for the 2nd star.
Yeah.
Hutch got the crowd on their feet early. He opened it up. It wasn't like we were down 4-0 and then we got the teddy bear toss goal. He did it in good, proper fashion. just over 5 minutes in, pots the opening goal, gets the Teddy Bears on the ice, got his 9th of the year. Spencer Hutchison's 2nd star, and first star of the game as selected by the Tillsonburg Thunder themselves. Leif, can you guess who it was?
I want to guess Jamie McQueen.
Good guess, Leif. You are spot on.
Yes.
Queener gets the first star of the game. He got to wear the Viking helmet in the change room. He got his 2-goal game. He was all over the place, and in double overtime, to be honest, he just said, screw this. I'm taking this on my back. Rebbery and him came in on a 2-on-1. Rebs passed it across. McQueen got a shot. It hit the outside of the net. It was a good defensive stick by the defenseman. I can't remember who it was. Was it Thomas Mox? I can't remember his name. But he made a good defensive play. Puck went along the half wall. McQueen followed it up, got the puck, and then he did a nice little veteran move. I liked it. He got to the blue line, and he dipped his shoulder. So he dipped the right shoulder like he was going to leave the zone and reset, get a change. Because, you know, we're 40 seconds in, the guys went all out. You think, well, maybe he's going to change. Strathroy's defense played up because they figured, okay, they're going to leave the zone. Last second, he dips the left shoulder, gets the sharp turn, cuts straight to the net. Both Strathroy's defenders, you could tell they were like, uh-oh, because Queener has that deceptive speed. He's not the quickest guy in the world anymore. Back in his day, he was. And I say back in his day, he's 35. He's not, 50 years old like Jeff White out here still playing. Who, by the way, Jeff White is a point per game at like 47 years old. That's incredible to see. Shout out to you, Jeff White, up in Elora. We'll be coming to see you in a few short weeks. I believe January we go on the Elora road trip, and it's a back-to-back. But anyway, McQueen, little shoulder dip, straight to the net. He got to Brouwer down, just wired it over the blocker. I mean, McQueen, he was like a foot in front of him, and you think, well, maybe he's got no angle to take that shot. Nope, he got the snapshot. He just got it, bang, top shelf. You can see the netting between the front bar and back bar just go bang. And that's why, how many water bottles has he popped this year? Just ask a few goaltenders in this league. Yeah. He has popped quite a few water bottles. Didn't pop the bottle on that one, but it's because the Brouwer had the freaking huge, 6-liter water bottle. Guy's facing 50 shots a game and put up a .930 save percentage.
Yeah, you might need that water bottle.
I would probably need that water bottle as well. So Queener from Rebbery, Thunder win 4-3 in overtime, double overtime. Tillsonburg with that win improves to 9-2. First team in the Washel to 9 wins. Congrats, boys. And Strathroy falls to 7-5-1 on the season. Leif, what were your final thoughts on the game? How did you like it? What did you not like? Just give me your takeaways from last Saturday's contest.
I think majority of the game. I think first 2 periods, they were alright. I didn't like the third period. I didn't like the way that we played all. Let's make it to overtime.
Yeah, a little hesitant.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Trust me, I watched the Leafs enough. I don't want to watch the Leafs in the Washel. Please. I don't want to. Anyway, I thought overall it was pretty good. Overtime looked great. I don't even think Strathroy had a shot.
They didn't. They never even got the puck off the face-off.
Yeah.
They lost the puck to Rebbery, poked it off the defenseman's stick.
Yep.
And then we ended the game.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, our overtime looked pretty good. So I would say overall it was a pretty good game.
And by the way, my bad, I was neglecting the fact we did play 3 minutes of 3-on-3. And Tillsonburg had a few shots, and so did Strathroy in that 3-on-3.
For sure.
But yeah.
I genuinely don't remember.
They had a couple shots. I do remember Sags making a couple stops.
Shout out Sags then.
Shout out Sags, he got the win. I believe now he's second in the league in wins. Save percentage, maybe not as close, but he's climbing up there. But it's Sag said it to us in the post game. He said it's tough because the boys are so good defensively this year that last year he was facing 35, 40 shots, and some of them were uneventful shots, not high danger, but the guys are doing a great job taking away many different looks. So now he's only getting 25 to 30 shots a game, and if he's giving up 2 or 3 goals, that's like an 890 save percentage. So it makes
unfair.
A difference, man.
It really is unfair.
Well, and look at all 3 goals they gave up, dude.
Exactly.
That's kind of what my point was in the takeaways. Couple bad turnovers and a 5 offensive man power play unit.
Yeah.
That's what the goals were. It was One was a breakaway, and all 3 of them were scored by the same guy. So shout out to you, Cameron Amos. I apologize I didn't get you on the 3 stars, but I just felt DeBrouwer played the better game in terms of holding you guys in there. Amos, you're still a stud, man. Great hockey player, but DeBrouwer was the better of the team. I'm allowed to say nice things about the Strathroy Jets. This isn't the Stratford Fighting Irish or the Woodstock Lakers, who, by the way, we'll talk about in a minute.
They won again, didn't they?
Shout out Lakers beating Stratford in overtime. Anyway, but yeah, all 3 goals that we gave up, shaky. It wasn't on sags. There was a 2-on-1, beautifully executed. It was a breakaway, and it was a shorthanded goal created by Fitzmaurice getting injured in the corner, and just a lack of defensive coverage. Nobody knew who they were covering. So,
by the way, got hurt and then was on the ice like 2 minutes later. Tried to play through it.
Yeah.
Got hurt again. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Tried to play through it again, and then finally, like he fell
left
in the ice.
The second.
Yeah, he fell in the ice like the 3rd time. It was like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
So
Fitzy's a tough guy, man. Fitzy's a tough character. But yeah, all 3 goals, not necessarily on sags. Got a feel for him, but I mean, we made up for it. I'm just saying that when you get into the playoffs, you get playing against teams like Petrolia and Stratford and Tilbury. You can't be making those mistakes because things like that are going to happen, right? So, but the Thunder got the win.
I don't think we'll run a 5-man power play, especially against those teams.
No, you can't. You can't.
5.
Like I said, 5-man power play unit, I get maybe in a 5-on-3, or say you're down 4-0 in the 3rd period.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
5-man, go ahead.
Fine.
Not when you're winning.
Especially when we're winning.
They're up 3-1, so I'd run, personally, if I was up 3-1, I'd run 2 defensemen. You have Van Bolkel, you have Knotts, you have Forsland. All 3 of those guys can score.
Yeah.
They have great shots, and they play defense. Yeah. So even Wyachek could be an option on the power play, dude. He's picked up an assist on a good hard slap shot. I just didn't like it. That was a bad decision. But you know what? The guy who was our interim head coach for the night, he quickly switched up the power play, and we no longer saw the 5-man offensive unit after that. And I don't blame him. Good decision, coach. And shout out to him. He did a great job coaching. I know that we're just kind of filling in gaps right now until we can officially hire a head coach. But so far, our interim coaching staff is 2-0.
Yeah.
Thunder are 2-0 since alleviating our previous coaching staff of their duties. So,
which they were also like 7-2. So
yeah, they were 7-2. Now they're 9-2. But
that's a good problem to have.
We also had to give a shout out to our guests, our lucky guest winners.
Yes.
We did a little poll on Facebook. It was a 3-part poll where everybody got to guess who they thought was going to win the teddy bear toss goal. And Leif and I did our predictions last week. I predicted Whalen.
Yes.
And you predicted
Rebs.
Michael Rebry. So both of us were wrong. Whalen did almost score, by the way. He talked about it with me upstairs in the Marwood Lounge after the game. He got an open look, and DeBrouwer was down and out. But a great defensive stick by one of the Strathroy players. Whalen just teed it up towards the open net, and he just got it off the tip of the heel and up and out of play. But yes, we were both wrong. Spencer Hutchison scored the game opening goal, the teddy bear toss goal, and Mrs. Lisa Lewis and Caleb Waycott. Caleb and Lisa, congratulations on getting the prediction correct. We're going to start doing more stuff like this, by the way, as we get further into the season and get more experienced with this podcast and what we're doing and having more fans that are appreciating us. We've gone up another few subscribers in the last few weeks. Our views are ticking in the right direction. We're hitting between 80 and 100 every video, and for the fact we cover a local, professional hockey team, and a lot of our fan base is older. A lot of our fans don't even know about YouTube and things like that. So once we get the word out there, spread the word, share it with your friends and family. Get out and watch. We try to put on a good show for you guys, the fans, and for you guys, the players as well. We love doing this. We love chatting for an hour about the Thunder once a week. It's awesome. We have special guest stars. We bring in the players. We bring in management. We bring in coaches. When we get coaches, we're going to bring them in. We like to just have fun on this show and keep it loose. You know, you get a nice 5-minute highlight package in there every game, as long as, you know, we're not in Delhi or Petrolia, where, you know, Petrolia can't record, Delhi doesn't know how to record.
It's true.
We like to put on a show for you guys, talk about the Thunder, talk about the boys, keep it interesting. And we do stuff like this and shout out our guest winners. We're going to eventually do giveaways. We have ideas for certain things. As of right now, we're looking at doing, for Lisa Lewis and Caleb Boycott, what we're going to do is we have 2 game pucks that I have acquired, and we're going to give you guys an autographed game puck with the player of your choice. So Lisa and Caleb, if you're watching, message me or Leif on Facebook or Instagram, or email the Thunder Hour Podcast at thunderhourpodcast@gmail.com and request who your favorite player is, and we will get the game pucks that we have autographed by your favorite player or favorite players. Doesn't matter. Let us know, and then you can put that up on your shelf, trophy case, whatever you want to do. That's your special giveaway. So congratulations to Lisa Lewis and Caleb Boycott on guessing the Thunder Teddy Bear Toss goal scorer. Caleb and Lisa, we will get you those game pucks. Just get in touch with us on Facebook or on Instagram, whatever, whichever way you want to talk to us. Just send us a private message or make a post on the Thunder page, and we'll get back to you, and we'll get you those game pucks. So that's the first half of the show. It was a great game in Strathroy. I really enjoyed it. Against Strathroy. I said in Strathroy. We don't like going to Strathroy. We have stories about that place, but na 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 na. Hey, goodbye.
That was
that was game 4.
Yeah, that was supposed to be their revenge game too.
Yeah, that was technically Strathroy's revenge game, but Brandon Buck, Pat McNeil, Stephen Hillier, none of those guys are on the team this year.
Okay,
so Buck's on the roster, but he hasn't played a game, and he is not listed. He doesn't have a number on the sheet. And to be honest, Kobe Ferreira and Cameron Amos have stepped in, and I think they've done a pretty good job carrying the workload. So
yeah, considering I think they've played the most games this year.
Yeah, they have. Strathroy, yeah, they're 7-5-1, so they played 13 games.
You can do math. Good job.
Barely. I had to quickly think about that one. They're, as I said in the pregame in the early part of this show.
Yeah.
Strathroy's already past the halfway point of their season. Thunder have played 11 games. They're 9-2. Most teams have. But yeah, so let's jump ahead. Quickly talking about the Mitch Fitzmaurice injury. Unfortunately, Mitch, who is leading the team in assists and tied for second on the team in points overall, had a injury in the corner in the second period.
It's not second. It's Kudo's second. I'm pretty sure.
Fitzmaurice and has now taken over Kudo for a second. Coots has been scoreless in his last 3 games. Coots still has 15 points. Fitzmaurice has 13 assists and 2 goals, so he also has 15 points. So they're tied, but Fitzy has the most recent points, so he would take him over as second place. There you go. Now you get it.
I am learning.
Yeah, unfortunately, as I believe that was that Jimmy or was that Jerry?
Bear.
Hey, Jerry Bear, Leaf's cat.
Welcome to the show.
Pick him up, put him on the table. Let's get Jerry Bear on the show.
I'm gonna try.
If you have any friends who are fans of cats, this is your opportunity to get a sneak peek at Leaf's cat, Jerry Bear.
He wants to stop laying down.
Jerry Bear, get up and get on the show. But as Leaf struggles to get Jerry to his feet, I will mention Mitch Fitzmaurice, unfortunately, will miss from what he says 3 to 4 weeks, potentially, which in this league, that's 3 games, maybe 4 games. It's a 24-game season. So that's a big injury for the Thunder. Fitzy's one of our best players. Thunder are calling it a lower body injury as Jerry makes his debut on Thunder Hour Podcast. Jerry, welcome to the show. How are you doing as he sniffs the mic? Are you going to say something, Jerry? Oh, no, he is out, down and out. Everybody, thanks to Jerry for making his Thunder Hour debut. But yeah, Mitch Fitzmaurice, the Thunder are calling it a lower body injury. Probably 3 to 4 weeks minimum for Fitzmaurice. That's a big injury, Leif. He's a depth player. He's a key contributor. He gets, he adds depth to this roster. He plays on the third line, but he's a first liner on most teams. 13 assists. Mitch is all over the score sheet every game.
Yeah.
Every game it's like, oh, Fitzmaurice assist, Fitzmaurice assist, Fitzmaurice assist, Fitzmaurice assist. Like, you can name probably the last 4 games, and like 90% of the goals, Fitzmaurice had an assist. Yeah. Big loss for the Thunder. I feel for him. Obviously, nobody likes getting hurt, especially when you're playing at a level of hockey that's not, they're not making millions of dollars to do this. So, Fitzy's going to miss 3 to 4 weeks. How it's going to impact the lineup is yet to be seen. Obviously, we're making a road trip to Orangeville mid-season. Orangeville's not the greatest. Thunder guys are busy getting ready for the holidays. We'll talk about the lineup. It's a little bit nerve-wracking when I see this lineup. Because, by the way, the lineup almost included my name. That's how bad it is. So, when I say bad, the guys on this team are much better hockey players than I will ever be. But
very true.
But when I'm saying it's bad, that I was possibly getting a sniff on the fourth line.
Jeez. You get like one shift to be like the Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, it would be like Make-A-Wish. It already was. I got a funny story to talk about later, but without Fitzy, we're looking. But here's the thing: without Fitzy, we can still insert. We have enough depth and talent on this team. Yeah. We have guys like Forsyth. We have guys like Baker. We have guys like, as we mentioned, we have Christo, and we have Brzezinski, and we have Van Beesen. All these guys that can step up into a bigger role, and I think fill that role. Not obviously as good as Mitch, because Mitch just has the hands of a god when it comes to setting up assists. But we have enough young depth on this team. I don't think it's going to hurt us that bad. But obviously, Mitch, we wish you the best, man. Get better soon. I hope to see you out there as soon as we can. Maybe you could pull a Jesse Raymond and, be told you're not going to play hockey till January and make your debut in freaking October. So
Pretty sure it was November.
It was November, yeah. See, I have my months all mixed up. I thought it was November right now. But it's December and we're almost at Christmas. We're like 2 weeks away, so.
3.
So, as Leif corrects me on everything.
Yes, I do.
Mitch Fitzmaurice out of the lineup for the next 3 to 4 weeks. That's a big loss for the Thunder. As I said, hopefully you get better soon, Mitch. Big loss for the boys, but hopefully you young guys, we're going to call you guys out. Brzezinski, Baker, Forsyth, Van Beesen. You guys are the 4 youngsters on this team. If you get an opportunity to play, go out there and put some pucks in the net. Go out there and contribute. Back check. Look what Fitzy does. Power play, penalty kill, takes face-offs, leads the team in assists. We need you guys to fill that role. So if you're a guy like Bakes, if you're a guy like Brzezinski, get out there. Forecheck, back check.
Paycheck.
Exactly. Leif, well done. Great philosophy. But no,
Sir.
All seriousness, all kidding aside, we need you young guys to step it up in the absence of a guy like Fitzy. And mid-season, when a lot of the big-name guys are, going away for holidays and going to... This is the point in the season last year. The Thunder started 11-1.
Yeah, we're 9-2, so we're pretty close.
We're pretty close. The Thunder were 11-1 last year, and they finished the season with 17 wins.
Yikes. Anyway, let's not do that again.
They were 17-7. They were 11-1. They finished 17-7. Let's not do that again. Please and thank you.
I don't like that.
And how we're gonna do that is by having you young guys step in and make an impact. So, and we know you guys can do it. That's the thing, is that we trust you guys. We're confident in you guys. You young guys are very capable and very able. So, let's jump ahead now, concluding on that thought, to lining up our next game against Orangeville. In Orangeville against the Blitz.
That is a far drive. You're from Tillsonburg.
Yeah, we're just shy of 2 hours to get there. Tilbury and Orangeville are the 2 furthest, and they're in the complete opposite directions. So I feel really bad when Tilbury has to play Orangeville, vice versa, in each other's stadiums.
Ooh.
Could you imagine that drive? 4 hours at least to get from Orangeville to Tilbury. No, thank you. But we always hear from Thunder management. Oh, back in the day, we played in Seaforth and all this stuff. But yeah, that's a long drive. So I'm just going to pull up the standings quick. I believe Orangeville is 1-10, or they may be 1-11. Either way, it's not good for Orangeville. Their one and only win did come against Stratford, so thank you for that. But it was a similar situation. Stratford didn't have a lot of guys. We, Tillsonburg, don't have a lot of guys going. We'll talk about the lineup in a second. Yeah, it's a tough situation being that far away from everybody. The closest teams to them are obviously, you got Alora's pretty close. And, I mean, Dunville's closer, but not that close. Orangeville, I stand corrected, is 1-12 on the season. Tillsonburg, as we said, on the complete opposite end of the standings at 9-2. So, theoretically, if you're at home and say that the Washel had a sports book and you were betting, you'd probably say, oh, I'm taking the Thunder all day on the money line. Not so fast. We're 2 hours away. We're getting closer to the holidays. Guys are taking vacations. Guys are away. Guys are out of town. It's not going to be the same Thunder lineup that we've seen the last 5 weeks. Let's just put it that way. We're going to be short a few guys. It's going to be a different look. Leif, why don't you give me the first line as projected by Mr. Bill Ryan?
Projected. We have. You sure that's right?
Yeah, that's the lineups. Yeah, you got to scroll down. That's officially from Mr. Bill Ryan, our general manager, as Leif.
So, Tapsel, Roberts, McQueen.
Second line.
Whalen, Thompson, Van Beesen.
Third line.
Brzezinski.
Brzezinski.
Brzezinski. Gildart and
Christo Curtis. 3 lines is all we're bringing to Orangeville. In fairness, the Blitz only brought 2 lines to Tillsonburg, so we'll be 1 line up on them. But
True.
Yeah,
our defense looks good.
Defense solid. Abraham and Forsland on the first pair. As always, those 2 are always on the first pair. Anthony Geldart and Colton Wyachek. And as we said, Wyachek's developing into a top pair defenseman in this league already. Defensively, block shots, gets pucks on net. He's never a liability. So with Anthony Geldart, a veteran like him, with the rookie, I like that pair.
I like it.
And then third pair, Knotts and Slater. So we do have 6 defensemen, which is a big thing. The Blitz, when they came to Tillsonburg, only had 4. Again, why you want 6 defensemen is because as you get into these games, you get down into the third period, you're gassed. And those 3 lines are going to be gassed. Instead of 40-second shifts, we're going to be looking at 1-minute shifts. And you might see a guy like McQueen having a double shift. And, you know, who knows? It's going to be tough. But I think our boys are well built. I think that the guys we're bringing can still make a difference. But yeah, it's definitely going to be tough because you don't have that full roster, right? You're missing. Think about the guys who are out of the lineup. Kudo, out of the lineup. Top goal, one of the top scorers on this team. Fitzmaurice, injured, out of the lineup. Hutchison, leading goal scorer, out of the lineup. Kyle Baker, promising young rookie, out of the lineup. Austin Forsyth, another promising young rookie, out of the lineup. So we're definitely short defensively. Jack Van Boekel, ECHL veteran, out of the lineup. Ryan Martinelli, we still haven't seen him this year. OHL Memorial Cup champion, out of the lineup. Brandon Barletta, one of the best defensemen in the league, out of the lineup. It's tough. And Leif, you want to break down who's the starting goaltender for your Tillsonburg Thunder?
Our starting goaltender is Jesse the Razor Raymond.
The Razor. Jesse Raymond gets his second start of the season. He started in Delhi when the Thunder got the win. Razor, fingers crossed, man. Go out and do your thing, Razor. We have faith in you. We trust in you, man. Obviously, it's a little bit disappointing to me that we haven't seen Wah in almost a month. Andre Wah needs to get in there, man. I really hope next week in Delhi, Andre Wah gets the start. I'm sorry to Sags, but Sags, you can start against Woodstock and get in a fight with Ben Edwards, hopefully.
I like it.
I'm down.
I
want Razor to start, get in the fight with Edwards a minute into the game, and then Sags comes in. Let's do it like that. Backing up, Raymond is number 1, Owen Stevenson. Owen's been backing up a few games on the road this year. And he even has 1 second of play officially. He got in against Woodstock.
Yep.
They buzzed the puck. They buzzed the buzzer too early, and they had to do a face-off in the Tillsonburg end. And as Leif goes digging for gold on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is on film, buddy. You are caught in 4K, even though this camera shoots at about 720. But no, Owen got in with 1 second left in the second period, and it was a face-off scramble draw. Nothing came of it, but congrats, Owen. You have played officially one more second this year than I ever will in the Washel. So congrats, buddy. Stevenson backing up Raymond. So we'll just line it up quickly again for you guys. Tapsel, Roberts, McQueen, Whalen, Thompson, Van Beesen, Brzezinski, Geldart, Christo, Abraham, Forsland, Geldart, Wycheck, Knotts, Slater, Raymond in net. Stevenson backing up. Players to watch, Leif. I'll say Orangeville because you never know how to say names.
True.
And then you can say Tillsonburg.
I don't know how to say names at all.
Players to watch for Orangeville are going to be the same 3 players to watch that we had in the first game because Orangeville's 1-11. They don't really have a lot of players to watch, but these 3 guys are good players. Jesse Chidwick, he got a goal, sharp angle shot on Sagrot, went RVH, tough goal.
Yep.
He's in the lineup, possibly. We don't know the visiting team's lineup. We don't know the home team's lineup on the road, obviously, until we get there. So,
yep.
Excuse me. Jesse Chidwick, 13 points in 8 games played, so over a point per game player. He's on a line. He's on a line with Blake Lovell, who has 12 points in 9 games played, and Josh Miller has 9 goals in 10 games played. Those are our 3 players to watch for Orangeville. As I said, this very well could be the Blitz second win of the season because you just never know with the lineup we're bringing. I know we have Jamie McQueen. I know we have Andrew Whalen. I know we have Sheldon Thompson. I know we have Braden Roberts. I know we're bringing Brzezinski and Christo and obviously Abraham and Forsland. But still, it's a very short lineup for the Thunder. We have our 1C, kind of, you could say, in that because Razor's not back to 100%, man. He's only got 1 start. And it was against Delhi, and there were some shaky moments. There were some good moments. But that's why we're saying, guys, go out there and prove us wrong. I'm still picking the Thunder to win. We'll get on the predictions after we go players to watch. But, yeah. Chidwick, Lovell, Miller, players to watch for Orangeville, Tillsonburg. Who do you got, Leif, for Tillsonburg players to watch?
Tillsonburg's players to watch
Excuse me,
are as follow. Andrew Whalen, who had a whale of a game last game. I will never do that again. Anyway. Sheldon Thompson. Colton Wycheck.
Mm-hmm. I like those picks.
I like those picks too. I didn't make them.
Oh, Leif always has a say in these things, but he's usually sleeping or working, so
yeah, that's true.
I make most of these scripts and notes when I'm at work too, so don't tell my boss. Hopefully you're not watching.
You mean on your lunch break?
Exactly.
You
on my
notes.
Lunch break, I make these notes.
Your unpaid or paid?
They buy me food, so it's unpaid, but I get free food, so pretty good deal.
I'm unpaid.
Imagine. Whalen, Thompson, Wycheck, Andrew Whalen. He's a great hockey player. Can't wait to see him out there.
Whale of a game last game.
He just said he would never do it again. He did it. Oh my goodness, Leif. You are fired from Thunder Hour Podcast.
Alright.
Applications are now open for a co-host and producer for Thunder Hour Podcast.
Finally.
I heard Trav for Oilers looking for work. Don't worry, Trav. I pay better than the SPH or what FP or what it was. He's in the Fedzino, right? Or was?
Well, he might get like a game. He was promised like 8 this year, allegedly.
Yeah, but they're bringing him in for publicity, so...
Who?
Trav for Oilers. We have the
who
5th string goaltending spot open up in Tillsonburg for the Thunder.
Hey! 6!
Oh, yeah, sorry. 7th string, because me and him are the 5th and 6th string goaltenders. Oh, and I'm coming for that spot.
Maybe Woodstock would want. No.
Woodstock Lakers are looking for a goaltender. Travis Ridgen. This is a shout out to you.
No, it's not.
Ben Edwards and Travis Ridgen, that's a lethal duo. But Trav, in fairness to me, I messaged Trav 2 years ago when he was in Sweden. I said, Trav, because I've watched his YouTube videos. I'm not slagging on the guy. I like Trav. I liked back in the day, like his Junior B vlogs and stuff like that.
Yeah, those were awesome.
Those were the best. But he was in Sweden, and I commented on a few of his things. I said, Trav, I said, if everything ends in Sweden and the thing doesn't work out in Norway, which it didn't work out in Norway, I said, come play in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. We have elite level senior AAA hockey in Ontario. Better than senior hockey in Manitoba, which he got lit up in, but we'll not talk about that right now. He says there's no defense. I didn't watch the highlights, whatever. But seriously, there are 2 leagues in Ontario, the Eastern Ontario Super Hockey League, the Western Ontario Super Hockey League, and we have the ACH. Come and try out for one of these teams. Dude, honestly, it's a better opportunity than making YouTube videos for an FPHL team that cuts you in 2 weeks just to use you to get publicity and then cut you or trade you for literally nothing. Like, this is a more steady and stable opportunity for a guy like Travis Ridgen. But he replied to my comment and said, I'm good, thanks. So there's your response. So, Trav, if you ever change your mind, I'm sure my good friend Bill Ryan would be willing to give you a tryout. And Owen Stevenson, you have to fight Owen Stevenson, as that's your final deciding offer to sign with the Thunder, would be fighting Owen Stevenson.
I think he's been in a couple goalie fights.
Oh, yeah, he's got a big mouth, so.
Yeah, he does. He's a tall guy, too. He's like 6'5".
Yeah, he's a big guy, but he's also full right, and we know from watching Leif play, full right goaltenders, they're just not that good.
That, and also it tricks the shooter, because somehow they have it in their brains that goalies only catch with their left hand.
Yeah.
Like, there was so many guys, even yesterday, they're like, well, I'm trying to go glove side on you.
Yeah, glove side.
You're shooting right on my blocker.
Yeah, glove side's blocker side, and normally a lot of guys like to shoot blocker side. It's the weaker side for a goalie, but for you guys, it's your glove side. So, stronger side.
Excuse me? Glove side is weak.
Blocker side's weak.
You call me Jesse Raymond with my glove hand.
Okay, Razor does have an elite glove. That's beside the point.
Anyway.
We went off on a tangent right there about Trav for Oilers and all this crap.
Anyway, let's make some predictions.
Thanks for getting us back in there, Leif. Treh did not know the lineup when he made his prediction, but he's sticking with his prediction because I'm a man of my word.
It's a dumb prediction.
Tilsonburg 6, Orangeville 3.
Okay, I'm gonna get some hate for this. 7-2. Orange kidding. Tilsonburg. 7-2 Tilly.
Alright.
Let's get some away road Domino's pizza.
Yeah, let's get some 7 goals and then come home and demand free Domino's because you guys are disappointed the last 2 games at home. You only got 4 and then you got shut out the game before. I want my free pizza. We were cocky saying, we're going to get free pizza every game this year. Nope. Let's get the scoring back at home, boys. Let's go. So I got 6-3. Leafs got 7-2. Thunder in Orangeville this Saturday night. Puck drop 8 p.m. Pay attention for Bill Ryan or for us as well. We will post the live stream link for Sporfy around puck drops, so about 7:45 you'll get a link. So if you're unable to make the trip, because a lot of fans won't be able to, I understand not as many people are as dumb as us, making a 2-hour drive to go watch the Thunder play. We're here to support the guys through and through, but if you can't make it, your best way to support is throw it on your TV in your living room and watch your Thunder play. And we'll post a link for Sporfy, and hopefully the boys can squeak out a win in Orangeville with a 3-line unit. We will see. I'm predicting Kyle Brzezinski to have a Gordie Howe hat-trick, goal, assist, and fight.
I want to say the same thing, so I'm going to say the same thing.
Copycat. Look at this guy.
Hey. We are not the Matt Sagrat fan club. We are the Kyle Brzezinski fan club.
Yeah, Bill, take that. Sags fan club. I don't think so. Although Sags is a pretty good goalie, so we always have to say something about him.
Yes, he is.
So we're going to touch now on the power rankings before we wrap up. We're at about an hour right now. Power rankings have released, but first things first, I want to talk about last weekend in the Washel. We had a 4-game slate on Saturday. All 4 games were 4-3 finals, and 3 of the 4 games went to overtime. Incredible. If you don't like this league, you are crazy. This league is amazing because
insane in the membrane.
Exactly. The teams, it was amazing. Like Woodstock, that's the team. That's what I wanted to shout out here. Lakers have been getting a lot of hate from us over the year, but Woodstock has earned themselves the respect that they deserve.
Woodstock.
Lakers went into.
Shout out Woodstock.
They went into Stratford. They gave Stratford an overtime loss, 4-3. They were up 3-0 going into the third period. A couple questionable penalty calls. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going on that tangent again. I'm going to get a bad email about that one.
Stratford was up 3-0?
No, Woodstock was up 3-0 over Stratford going into the third period. And then Stratford came back and tied it. And it was terrible. The penalty that... So Stratford pulled the goalie, and then Woodstock got a delay of game penalty. So it was 6-on-4. Ben Edwards, honestly...
Oh, delay of game... Didn't that happen to us? Isn't the rule, it's not, official?
No, it is official. So Bill told me
official?
Some of the refs weren't on the same page because these refs ref a lot of different levels of hockey. Right. Now, we have a different rule set from Hockey Canada. So if you're reffing ACH or Junior C or Junior B or even minor hockey, you you have a whole different rule set than the Washel. The Washel makes our own rules. We're unaffiliated, so we're not sanctioned by Hockey Canada. So they make their own rules. Delay a game was a voted on decision in the offseason by all 11 general managers. They all voted yes. Executives voted yes. So delay a game is now a penalty. Why that was is because many guys felt last year the not as skilled teams, when they get under pressure by the better teams, they just shoot it over the glass and get a freeze, get a whistle. And that's why the National Hockey League implemented it years ago with delay game. It used to just be that if the goalie cleared the puck over the glass or played it out of the trapezoid, it was a penalty for delay game. But now the NHL, obviously, for years has had any player shoots it over the glass in their own defensive end, it's a penalty. Washel is doing the same thing. So, but yes, beside the point, Woodstock went into Stratford and beat Stratford by a final score of 4-3 in double overtime. Christian Polilio got the goal. Andrew Rogers was on the call in Stratford. It was a good game. Very entertaining contest. 3-0, and then the comeback from Stratford, and the emotions are all over the place. And then ultimately, obviously, the Lakers pulled off the win. So,
go Woodstock.
Go Lakers, except for on the 23rd. We don't want to have to deal with that.
Second favorite team in the Washels.
By the way,
let's go.
My second favorite team in the Washel is Dunnville.
I like the jerseys.
Well, growing up near Hamilton,
Yeah, well, growing up, Woodstock.
This guy's a Woodstock, exactly. I think you and Razor were going to play for you're going to be the two goalies for the Lakers next year. Zare, I found your next goalies.
I'm still not eligible to play.
Well,
because age is 21. I'm pretty sure still. They didn't merge with the 20 and
the Eastern League?
Yeah.
We'll figure it out next year once we get a little bit more official with the OSHL.
I'm not good enough.
Well,
not go there.
Well, I learned that the hard way. I went to Thunder practice this week. There were shorts and bodies at practice, so I got the invite to come out and practice. Let's just say it was bad. I am terrible at hockey. When I go play beer league and pick up and stuff, I feel confident. You know, I'm flying out there. I'm having a good time. When I go out, oh yeah, says you, bro. I'd score like 5 on you right now. Let's go. Reeves, we'll rent the ice for an hour. See how many goals I score.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like the confidence. But I went out to Thunder practice, and I just tip my cap to you guys. Just seeing the skill level of you guys is incredible. Like, you know, you guys are the best of the best in Junior C, Junior B, Junior A, OHL. You know, you coming out and still doing it at this level. It's awesome to see. But yeah, the skating and the shot is the two areas that you guys excel in comparison to myself. I lack in skating and shooting. Yes.
Oh, definitely skating.
Still scored on Owen Stevenson in practice. So,
haha.
I did get one on Razor in a scramble drill. But we're not going to talk about that. That's my bucket list. Shout out to Make-A-Wish Foundation for letting me. Dreams come true, baby. Let's just say I did not earn the 1-game contract in Orangeville, as Bill was mentioning. Put me on a line with McQueen. He's so good, I'd score somehow anyway. But
just stick on the ice, and you get it to you.
Power rankings are as follows, and then we're going to wrap up the show.
Okay. What are they?
Power rankings from bottom to top.
Oh.
Number 11, the Orangeville Blitz.
Oh, God.
Number 10, and they've fallen far from grace. They were up there earlier on this year. I believe they were as high as 4th, the Delhi Flames.
Yeah, they're They're going through it right now.
They are. Josh LaBelle, maybe
Yeah.
maybe sit on the bench for a minute. Number 9, the Dunnville Arrows. Good for them for still being in there. They've won a couple of games, and they've played competitive. Dunnville hasn't really got blown out except with Woodstock, but that's just because Kevin Hu took something personal against them. Number 8, the aforementioned Woodstock Lakers.
They're still 8?
Yep. I thought they, after beating Stratford, but some people like Stratford a lot in this league, so you never know, who makes these calls, but I'm just kidding, Raji.
No,
Number
that
7.
says BS. They should be higher.
I personally, here's the thing, though. Number 7 is Alveston. Alveston beat them the night before. They beat Stratford. And Alveston's much improved. Alveston is not Alveston from last year. Number 6, the Elora Rocks. Number 5, the Tilbury Bluebirds. Personally, I'd flip those two. I'd put Elora ahead of Tilbury, but Tilbury beat Elora and Elora. So again, it's all over the place. This league is very tight. Basically, 9 through 5 is tight.
Yeah.
And then it starts to pull away. Number 4 in the power rankings, the Strathroy Jets, who we just took care of business. Again, personally, I'd put Tilbury ahead of Strathroy. But I don't make these calls. Number 3, the Petrolia Squires, who have fallen down from the number 2 spot after losing to Stratford, who is now number 2, the Stratford Fighting Irish, as Leif looks absolutely flabbergasted over there, wondering why Petrolia is in the 3 spot.
No. Stratford's at number 2.
Yep. At 7-4 or 7-3-1. But the number 1 spot's all that matters, and it's your Tillsonburg Thunder who hold the number 1 spot on the power rankings. Shout out to the boys. We've held that spot since we beat Petrolia in Petrolia like 3 or 4 weeks ago. So
Sure.
that's your power rankings right there. Tillsonburg sitting in number 1. We'll go through the Mighty Expedite standings as well, because why not? We'll see how they mirror the power rankings. Dead last in the league, the Orangeville Blitz at 1-12 and 13 games played. They have the most games played, other than Strathroy. The 2 of them are tied at 13 for games played. Delhi Flames sit in 10th with a 3-6 record. They do have 1 overtime loss, so they have that 1 extra point, which gives them, I believe, where's the points? 7 points on the year, so you get obviously 2 for a win, 1 for an overtime loss. Dunnville Arrows sit at 3-8, but they have 2 overtime losses. Sounds like the Leafs of this league. Always sneaking into the playoffs with those overtime losses. Dunnville has 8 points, and they sit in 9th. Sitting in 8th, the Woodstock Lakers, 11 games played, 5-6 record, and they start out 0-4. So they've played 4-2 hockey, 5-2 hockey since that 0-4 start. So ever since we started ripping on them, Kevin Hu took it personally, and he has like 50 goals or whatever. So Kevin Hu gunning for back-to-back MVPs. Lakers have 10 points. They have no overtime losses, but they do have an overtime win. So that counts in the ROW category, regulation overtime win. Alveston sitting in 7th. They have played 9 games. They're 5-4, much improved from last year. They do have 1 overtime loss with 11 points. Tilbury, 6th place, 6-5, which, by the way, Tilbury went 19-4 last year, so they already have overtaken their loss total from last year, and we're not even halfway through the season. 11 games played for for Tilbury, 6-5 with 12 points. 5 spot goes to Elora. They are 7-5. They have 14 points in 12 games played. Strathroy, is in 4th. They've played 13 games. They are 7-5-1 with a 15-point mark, tied with the Stratford Fighting Irish, who are 7-3-1 in 11 games played, also with 15 points. Petrolia Squires sit in 2nd at 8-3 with 16 points. The Thunder are responsible for 2 of those 3 losses, by the way. And they also lost a tight game, hard-fought in Stratford. So that explains why they're ahead of them in the power rankings. And number 1 in the league, 11 games played, 9-2-0 record, 18 points. The Tillsonburg Thunder. That's your standings, presented by Mighty Expedite. Leif.
Yes.
I like where we're sitting, but
I do.
Obviously, we go we go Orangeville, Delhi, Woodstock to close out the calendar year of 2023. We talked about it in our month's end and month intro podcast last week. We predicted the Thunder would go 4-0 this month. They started it off with the win. Personally, the only game I thought they would lose would be against Strathroy because of the revenge factor, blah, 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 but they did win that game in overtime. But yeah, seeing the lineup we're bringing to Orangeville, I think it's going to be a tight game. I don't think it's going to be as, obviously, 11-0-ish as other games but that Orangeville has played. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, Leif. And I think that pretty much concludes matters here on Thunder Hour. Leif, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, I have no final thoughts, to be honest.
Leif doesn't have any thoughts. His brain is mush. Guy works till 3 in the morning and then shoots podcasts at 10 o'clock. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. We do apologize. No special guest star this week. Some guys are busy. We were going to potentially have Bill on again for a little part 2, but we decided we're going to hold that off as, scheduling things came up. So yeah, our next special guest star we're shooting for is going to be potentially either Mr. Jamie McQueen, Thunder Superstar, or Kyle Brzezinski, the rookie. And in a couple weeks, we'll have Bill Ryan on for the year-end podcast, which is going to be coming the week between the 23rd game and New Year's. We'll be doing a special 1.5 to 2 hour show with a couple special guests. That's the plan. We might have Holly and Ryan again. But yeah, that's going to be our year-end podcast. We both are going to be off work for a little bit with the Christmas holidays, so it'll give us a chance to actually properly do a podcast, not just last minute filming it in Leaf's basement. But yes, thanks again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on Thunder Hour Podcast. This episode is set to release either Friday evening, or Saturday morning. Depends on what time we're able to produce and get out, and he also has to go to work today, so we'll get it all figured out. Thanks again, one more time, for Leif Dietrich. I'm Trey Hamilton. We're signing off from Woodstock, Ontario, Canada. Have a great night, Tillsonburg. We will see you in Orangeville. Leif, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go Thunder! Woo!